Okay, so come to your mat. Oh, one last person to enter there. Branislava. Okay, so come to your yoga mats. Oh. Okay, let that last person in. Gosh, guys, you need to be on time. So come to a cross-legged position. Whichever version of a cross-legged position is most comfortable for you. And then see if you can have both the sitting bones on the floor, or if you're using a block or a blanket. I think because we're going to do a little bit of connecting to mula bandha. So if you're sitting up on something, it's a little bit better you're sitting on something firm. So a block or even a book. And then lengthen the spine. Relax the shoulders. Relax the jaw. Relaxing the facial muscles. And starting to tune in with the breathing. Noticing the inhales, noticing the exhales. Start to apply uddiyana breath. So making a soft sound with the breath. And seeing if you can make the inhales and the exhales the same length. Bring the hands in front of the chest. Give yourself an intention for the next hour and a half. If you're not sure what kind of intention to make, it can be anything personal or something such as I'm going to keep bringing my mind back to the present moment. So every time my mind leaves the present moment, I just gently bring it back. Bring it back to the breath, bring it back to the bandhas. And we'll chant Om all together to begin. Inhaling. Keeping the eyes closed, release the arms, the hands down. Try to feel your sitting bones on the floor. And see if you can make the weight in the sitting bones between the two sitting bones even. And then see if you can notice if you're sitting centered on the sitting bones. So not a little bit forward, not a little bit back, but really centered in the middle. And then see if you can lift up and away from those sitting bones, from the waist, from the pelvis, lifting up and away from the floor, even though the sitting bones feel heavy and grounded. And then bring your awareness to the tailbone, the coccyx, and the pubic bones. So we could say that the two sitting bones, pubic bones, and the coccyx or tailbone, these are the four corners of mula bandha. 4 points towards one another. So you feel the pelvic floor lifting up. Like the pelvic floor is lifting away from the floor as the skeleton, the sitting bones, the bones of the body are really grounded and heavy into the floor. And notice when you're able to lift those 4 points, naturally the very low abdominal area, 4 or 5 fingers below the navel, this naturally pulls in as well. So this is engaging mula bandha and uddiyana bandha. These bandhas help stabilize the pelvis, stabilize the back, keep us grounded as we rise up. I'm going to start to apply the breathing to the bandhas. So everyone exhale fully from the bottom. So feel the lower abdominals squeezing in like you're pushing the air from the bottom up, out through the mouth. Then inhale from above, like you're filling in the lungs, going down, but make sure the low abdominals stay in with the inhale. And if you want, you can place your fingers in that area and use your fingers to help remind you to keep that area firm. So starting again, exhale fully from the bottom. Inhale from the thoracic cage. The area between the low ribs is expanding. And then exhale. Inhale from the top, but not the low abdominals. Exhale from the bottom. Inhale from the top. Exhale from the bottom. Continuing at your own breathing rhythm, you can bring your fingertips in front of the hip bones, lowest part of the abdominals, and under the fingertips, you do not want those muscles to move with the inhales and the exhales. So starting with an exhale and continuing at your own breathing rhythm. Making sound with the breath, using that sound to calm the nervous system. So even if we're moving, we're going to be moving dynamically, we still want to have the sound that calms the nervous system despite the challenge. Maintaining the bandhas, maintaining the breathing, bring the palms on the floor in front of you. And start to walk your palms forward. And then halfway down, press into the hands, ground the sitting bones, and open the chest. And once again, see if you can tune into mula bandha, uddiyana bandha, and deep ujjayi breathing. Notice if you're still able to keep the bandhas and maybe walk the hands a little bit further. But please do not just collapse. Press the hands, feel the sitting bones reaching towards the floor to get that grounding as the low back ribs reach away from the floor, elongating the spine. And then keep the bandhas in so the front body, the low front body is firm. Breathing ujjayi. maintaining all this, start to walk the hands towards the right. So you're coming towards your right knee, stretching out the left side of the torso, and then bring your awareness back to the bandhas, pressing the floor, trying to ground the sitting bones, opening the chest, breathing deeply, allowing the entire thoracic cage to move with the breath. Pressing the hands, walking all the way back to the center, and then towards the left. Once you find where you're going to stay, press the hands into the floor, ground, feel like the grounding of the sitting bones. Even if they're not actually touching the floor, they might be slightly lifted, but press into the floor and reach them towards the floor. Even if they're not completely touching, and then open the chest, breathing here, finding mula bandha, finding uddiyana bandha, and deep ujjayi breath. Walking the hands back to the center, and then pulling a little bit with the hands, pull yourself up and come to the hands and the knees. So you're on all fours. Bring the wrists below the shoulders, the knees a little bit behind the hips, tuck the toes in, and then we're going to work dynamically here by inhaling, opening the chest. Exhale, feel like you're pulling in the belly and bringing the sitting bones towards the heels. Inhale, open the chest, coming forward. Exhale, pull the lower abdominals and bring the sitting bones towards the heels. And again, inhale, slowly warming up the body. Exhaling. One more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Then staying here in puppy pose, lift the palms from the floor so you're on the fingertips. Walk the fingertips as far forward as you can, and then pull the sitting bones towards the heels, feeling this elongation through the entire back body. Bring the ears between the upper arms, and then press the palms firmly into the floor, reaching the sitting bones in the opposite direction. And then see if you can still tune into that feeling of mula bandha, the two sitting bones working towards one another, the pubic bone and the tailbone all working towards the center of the pelvic floor to keep you rooted. Even if we're elongating, we always want to stay rooted. Coming back up onto the hands and knees, trying to find a neutral spine here. Feel the head so that it's a little bit lifted, so that the neck is in line with the rest of the spine, and then firm in the entire belly. Not rock hard, just firming in so that it doesn't feel like it's dropping towards the floor. Then stretch out the right leg. Push that heel firmly away. Press the 10 fingertips into the floor. And then feel that cupping action under the palm, like you're going to pull the whole mat up away from the floor. Allow the right knee to come down. Stretch out the left leg. Press the heel away. Reach the sternum forward in the opposite direction. Lower the knee. And this time you're going to stretch out the right leg and then lift the leg up so it's parallel with the floor. Feel the upper inner up towards the ceiling. You can look down your body and see if the leg is parallel with the floor. And then bring the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Engaging that right leg, co-contracting the muscles. Lower the right knee, pick up the left knee, and pick up the entire leg. And if you need to, you can look down, see that your leg is straight, feel the upper inner thighs reaching up towards the ceiling. Lower the knee, and this time you're going to straighten both knees into this plank pose. Have a look down your body, check the knees are straight, the pelvis is straight, and then bring the head back in line with the rest of the spine. Feel the upper outer arms slightly rotating towards the back of your mats. And then tune in once again, mula bandha, uddiyana bandha. See if you can feel that same sensation you felt while sitting. Press the hands and start to work the sitting bones towards the end of your mats, coming into a downward facing dog. If it feels right for you, you can bend one knee, straighten the opposite knee, and switching. And switching. Check the lower belly is pulling in, switching. Trying to make a hollow between the two hip bones. So the focus we're going to have today is seeing if we can find mula bandha and uddiyana bandha in all the poses. And then maybe if it feels comfortable, straightening both knees out. Pressing the hands, reaching the sitting bones towards the wall behind you. Have a look at your knees, the kneecaps pointing straight forward. Samastitihi feet. And then start to walk your feet forward. So your feet come towards your thumbs. Come high onto the fingertips. Reach the sitting bones to the back of the mat. Reach the crown and the sternum towards the front of the mat. Feel like you're firming in the belly. Holding it there. Checking you still have mula bandha and uddiyana bandha. And then exhale, you can fold forward if you need to. You bend the knees. Let the head relax. And then inhale, pushing the feet, coming all the way up, raising the arms up. Exhale, arms to the sides. So we're going to do this again. Inhale, raising the arms up. Exhale, folding over the legs, keeping the lower belly firmly pulled in as you fold over. Relax the neck. Inhale, lift, lengthen the spine. Check the lower belly is pulled in. Exhale, press the hands and either stepping or gently hopping back and coming back into your plank pose. Press the heels away, press all 10 fingers. Wrap the upper outer arms slightly towards the back of your mats. And then lean forward, slowly, 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 as slow as you can, coming all the way down to the floor. Lift one leg, feel like the center of the leg is pointing straight downwards, and press the 5 toes firmly into the floor. The knee is off the floor, the knee is not touching. Pick up the left leg, wrap the 2 hip bones towards one another and press those 5 toes into the floor. Upper inner thighs reaching up towards the ceiling. Press the toes firmly, press the pubic bone down, hands beside the waist, roll open the shoulders, open the chest. Make sure you can lift the hands. Check 10 toes are pushing into the floor. Press the pubic bone. Roll open the shoulders. hands, your fingertips towards your forehead, and then press the elbows up towards the ceiling. And hands beside the waist, press into the hands, and if it's comfortable, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Staying here, finding a steady gazing point, and concentrate on the breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either step or hop your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, belly in. Exhale, head down. Inhale, strong legs as you come all the way up. Exhale, arms to the sides. And again, inhale to open the arms. Exhale, folding over. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, step or lightly hop back. Plank pose, strong plank. Lower down and stop in Chaturanga. Press the heels away. Holding, holding. Engage the hamstrings. Inhale, upward facing dog. Check, hamstrings are engaged. Buttocks are firm but not squeezing. Upper inner thighs reaching up towards the ceiling. Downward facing dog. Find your gazing point and concentrate on the breath. Bend the knees and either step or hop forward. Open through the chest. Exhale, head down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhaling. One more like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Working through plank, strong chaturanga. Strong upward dog. Exhale, downward facing. See if you can make a hollow between the two hip bones. So you've got uddiyana bandha. Bend the knees, either step or hop forward. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, head down. Inhale, all the way up, strong legs. Exhale, samastitihi. Bend the knees, bring the fingertips down beside you so you can stay low. Pull in the lower belly and then stay low and raise the arms up. Holding it here. Press the knees a bit towards each other, not squeezing, but they're definitely touching. Exhale, fold over the legs, relax the neck. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, step or hop. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the heels high from the floor, press into the hands, reach the sitting bones towards the wall in front of you, behind you, and then pick up your right leg. But feel like you're lifting it up from the inner thigh. Have a look at the leg, the knee is straight. And then, keeping the leg up, lean forward like a plank pose with the leg up. And then lean forward a little more, chaturanga with the leg up. Come back into a plank pose. Back into downward dog with the leg up. Bring your right foot towards your right thumb. Turn the back foot on the floor at an angle. Right fingertips on the outside of your foot. And stretch the arm over, Parsva Konasana. co-contract the muscles of the arms so the triceps are lifting away from the floor. Reverse warrior, left arm down, right arm over. And bring the right arm forward, forward, forward. See if you can wrap that right arm under the front thigh and reach and wrap behind you. Open the chest towards the side. Release the hands, put the hands on the floor, and step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Upper inner thighs reaching to the ceiling. Exhale, downward facing. Pick up the heels from the floor. Press the hands, reach the sitting bones to the wall behind you. And start to pick up your left leg, making a nice straight line with the body. Lean forward like a plank with the leg lifted. Bend the elbows, Chaturanga with the leg lifted. Press the hands back into a plank pose. Back into a downward dog with the leg lifted. Bring your left foot to the left thumb. Turn the back foot on the floor at an angle. Hand on the outside of your foot. And opening Parshva Konasana. Pressing into the feet. Inhale, come up. Virabhadrasana B. Check, you can co-contract the muscles of the arms. And reversed warrior. Right arm down the back leg, left arm over. And start to lengthen out over that front leg, reaching, 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 wrapping your arm under the thigh and seeing if you can bind behind. And release the hands, put them on the floor, step back, and Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Lift the heels high from the floor. Step the right foot forward and come up onto the heel. Slide your fingertips back. Put the back knee on the floor. And then reach your hips away from the front foot and see if you can fold over that front leg a little. Okay, the next part, you bend the front knee about 10 degrees. Take your right hand on the upper thigh and use that hand to externally rotate the thigh. So now, as I do that, my outer foot comes onto the floor, but my inner foot is off the floor. Okay, so now, take your right hand, see if you can drop that hip a little bit. Bring both hands in front of you. So there's options here. So this front foot is kind of pushing into the mat and forward at an angle. That keeps the right thigh engaged and connected. So this is a great place to stay. If you want to go a little further, pick up the back knee. If you want to go a little further, pick up the right arm. So it's a tiny bit of a twist. And then press the left hand into the floor. Reach the chest away from the floor, reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. And then both hands down. Once again, this is optional. You can place your forearms onto the floor. Press that, slide that back foot away, and then look down your hips and see if you can put both hips equal distance from the floor so that they're level. Okay, the next one's a little bit strange. You have to put the hands on the floor and then turn the back foot on the floor at an angle. The front leg is still standing like it is, so only the outside of the foot is on the floor. And then start to bring your right hand behind, so it's behind that front leg. And then see if you can straighten that front leg. So it's like an awkward trikonasana. Start to open your chest, like your chest is going to reach towards the ceiling, and allow the left arm to reach back. Then notice upper inner thighs pulling towards each other. Sitting bones slightly toward each other. Mula bandha. Left hand comes down. Straighten the front knee and bring the foot back. Optional Chaturanga. Inhale. Exhaling. Okay, second side. First, lift the heels high from the floor. Press the hands. Make space between the vertebrae, elongating the spine. Step the left foot forward so the heel is on the floor. Bring the right knee down. And push the hips towards the end of the mat. And then see if it feels comfortable to fold a little bit forward. Soften the front knee. Bring your left hand to the hip and guide that thigh for external rotation. So the outer foot comes onto the floor. Inner foot is off the floor. Then, if you want to stay here, you're welcome to stay here. Or put the right hand into the floor, push into the right hand, feel the chest reaching away from that, and left arm up towards the ceiling. And place the hand down. Oh, I forgot you could lift that back leg. Sorry about that. So let's do it again. Lift the back leg from the floor. And both hands down so you can stay here or place the forearms down. Look down your body. Slide the back foot back a little bit and see if you can bring both hips equal distance from the floor. Then this awkward thing, coming back up onto the hands. You can turn the back foot on the floor at an angle. Bring your left hand on the outside of that front leg and see if you can start to straighten out that front leg. So the inner foot is off the floor still. Pick up the right arm. Open the chest, so it's like a spinal twist, reaching up the chest towards the ceiling. Opening that right arm behind you. And both hands down to the floor. Bring the foot straight, step back, and lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here, tuning in with your breathing, checking you're still engaging mula bandha and uddiyana bandha. Lift the heels high from the floor, step the right foot forward, and then turn so your outer edges of the feet are parallel. Bring your hands on the floor in front of you, push into the hands, and reach the chest away. So you're trying to make a nice straight line with the torso. Then slide the hands back, place the palms on the floor, and see if you can make a tripod, right angle with your forearms. Place the head down. Anchor the shoulder blades onto your back. And if you feel comfortable, you can start to lighten the weight into the heels.
So you can lift up the heels a little bit, and maybe some of you can come up into a tripod headstand. Okay, just make sure if you're doing that, you're safe. You're not going to fall into anything. Good job. Gerald's practicing, and so I see him doing it in front of me, but not to me. And then when you come down, slowly with control, come all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, hands on the hips. Press into the hands and lift all the way up to standing. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, you're going to see if you can place the hands in reverse prayer behind the back. Inhale, open the chest and lower belly pulled in, and then fold over, keeping the lower belly pulled in as you fold over. Allow the head to come down. Counting your breaths. Check that you still are able to maintain Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha here. Uddiyana Bandha is a little bit easier when you're upside down. Inhale, press the feet, come all the way up. Turn the toes so they're pointing towards the front of your mat. Release your hands, put the hands down, step back, and work through a Chaturanga. And then an upward facing dog. And a downward facing dog. Lift the heels high from the floor. Step your left foot forward, and then turn so the outer edges of the feet are parallel. Bring your palms way out in front of you. Come high up to your fingertips. Have a look at your feet. You want samastitihi feet. Check your thighs are engaged. And then feel like your chest is working away from the floor. Sitting bones working away from the head. Lower belly pulled in. Okay, if you can maintain that, then put the palms, press the palms into the floor and bring the ears between the upper arms like you're doing a really wide-legged downward facing dog. And then slide the hands back and turn so the tops of the hands are on the floor. So the tops of the hands are pushing into the floor, and then this is an optional inversion. So if you can, you're pressing the tops of the hands into the floor. The head is clearly on the floor. And then anchor the shoulder blades onto the back body. Pull in the lower abdominals and see if you can lift the heels a little bit from the floor. Pressing the hands. You have to strengthen the neck muscles. Good. I see a few of you doing it. Amazing. And even if you don't come up, even if you're just lifting the heels from the floor, that's already amazing. Right? Anyway, you're amazing no matter what, right? Even if you're not doing it, like me, I'm not doing it. I'm amazing too. Okay, slowly lower the legs if you're up. And put the hands on the hips. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale here. Inhale, opening the arms. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Relax the shoulders, the belly in, chest up. Exhale, keeping the hands on the back, going all the way forward, keeping the hands on the back until the head is all the way down. And then once you're down, allow the arms to fall over the head. And then if it feels comfortable for you, you can inhale, lift a little bit away, lengthen one side of the torso, and then come back to the center. Lift, lengthen the other side of the torso, and come back. And kind of swinging a little bit back and forth, lengthening the side body. And then once you feel like you've done enough, then you can come back to the center. Press the feet, inhale all the way up to standing. Release the hands, point the toes to the fronts of the mats, both hands to the floor, Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Bend the knees, either step or hop to the front of your mats. Inhale, get a long back. Exhale, the head goes down. Inhale, back into Utkatasana. Raise the arms. Exhale, Samastitihi. So we're going to do some one-legged balancing poses. So first come into a nice Samastitihi. Bring your finger, the baby finger on the hip bones, the thumbs on the low ribs, and the fingers towards the navel. And then firm this area in and make it a little longer. Feel the upper inner thighs reaching up into Mula Bandha. Then, maintaining this, start to bend your right knee, interlace the fingers over the shin, and then use the shoulder blades. So lift the shoulders, anchor the shoulder blades on the back, and then normally the knee is going to come up. You keep the elbows bent, and you use the biceps as well. So the arms are lifting the leg up. Straighten the standing leg. Take your left hand on your shin, release your right hand. So see if you can get your big toe. Then release your left hand, stretch it up to the ceiling. So get a little bit taller here, and then feel like the center of the heel is going to arc forward and up. So do it with consciousness, with awareness. So it's like slow motion, reaching up. And then, if you manage to straighten the leg, press the balls of the big toe and the little toe away. And then anchor the shoulder blade again. Pull in the lower belly. Holding here. Firming the left buttocks. Then, you're going to slowly externally rotate that right thigh. Bring your left arm parallel with the floor in the opposite direction, opening to the side. Try to tell yourself you're enjoying this. And then bring the leg back. Left arm comes up. Bring the left arm down. Take the outside of your foot or the knee if you've got your knee bent, and bring your right arm behind you. So a little bit of a twist. Check the standing leg is straight, reaching the crown. Check your bandhas. Bring both hands forward, interlace the hands underneath the thigh, and then anchor your shoulder blades and kind of pull the skin of the hamstrings towards you. Release the hands. And release. Good job, guys. Second side. Baby fingers on the hip bones, thumbs on the low ribs, fingers towards the navel, firming this in. Start to pull up the left knee, interlace your fingers over the shins, and then anchor your shoulder blades on the back. Use the biceps, use the arms to lift the knee high, but at the same time, the left sitting bone feels heavy towards the floor. The right upper inner thighs reaching up and a little bit back. Then release your left hand, take your big toe, check you're still standing straight, left shoulder blade still anchoring, and slow motion, like you're pulling your toe towards you with your arm as your heel arcs up, out and up. Then, if your leg straightens, push the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe away as you're still softening the elbow and pulling the toe towards you. Right arm up to the ceiling. Externally rotate the thigh, opening to the side, opening the arm to the opposite side.
Inhale, back to the center. Bring the arm up. Reach out and take the outside of your foot. Reaching the left arm out behind you. Keeping that standing leg straight and strong. Bring both hands underneath the thigh. Pull the hamstrings in, up towards your torso. Keeping the chest lifted, both hands on the hips. And release. Good. Let's do one more. Standing balance. If you need to, you shake out your legs. So both toes together, getting a nice long samasthiti. Turn the right knee out and place the right foot on the upper inner thigh for the tree pose. Pressing the thigh and the foot towards one another. Bring your hands on your hip bones and wrap those two hip bones towards one another. Press the fingers into uddiyana bandha and lift the skin up. So this is pulling in and up. Take your thumbs on the low back ribs and reach your low back ribs up. You're getting taller. Reach the arms up, interlace your thumbs, and then pull the thumbs like they're reaching away from one another. And then stretch the baby finger side of the hands all the way to the ceiling. Now, soften the left knee so you're bending it slightly. Release the right foot, and you're going to see if you can wrap the right leg over the left and maybe tucking the toes behind you. Reaching up with the torso as you lower with the legs. Squeeze the upper inner thighs. Reaching up and lowering. And releasing. Whew. That's hard. That's fun. Okay, so finding yourself into samasthiti. Left knee opening to the side, but hip bones forward. Placing the foot up into the tree pose. Engaging. Okay, so we're using simple movements, but we're finding the mula bandha and the uddiyana bandha. So pulling the thighs, and then wrap the hip bones, press the fingertips into the lower belly, muscles go back and pull them up. Low back ribs, reaching up towards the ceiling. So you're getting taller. Lift the rib cage. Reach the arms out, change the crossing of the thumbs, and then pull the thumbs away, reach the baby fingers all the way up to the ceiling. Firm in the muscles of the whole right leg. Start to soften the standing leg. And then wrap the left leg over the right, maybe tucking the toes, reaching way up with the arms as you slowly lower. Lower abdominals pulling in. Squeeze the sitting bones towards one another. Squeeze the upper inner thighs towards one another. And release somewhat gracefully. Come to the front of the mats. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, lower. Everybody's okay there? Give me some thumbs up if you feel okay. Okay? Anyways, you're at home, so if it's too much, you can just watch. Or go get a drink and like you're watching TV. Get some popcorn. So put the hands on the floor, press into the hands, and step or hop back. Plank pose. Working through Chaturanga. Upward facing. And downward facing dog. So lift the heels from the floor and step the 2 feet towards one another so they're touching. And then put the heels back to the floor if that's possible. Then you're going to turn so you're on the side of your left foot. Bring your shoulder over the front wrist or almost over and see if you can make yourself into a samasthiti on the side. So flex the feet, pull the thighs up, reach your right arm up for a side plank.
bring your right foot in front of you. Push into the hand, push into the right foot. Lift the hips a little bit higher. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And so you can stay here, or you step your right foot behind you, and then pick the hips up, reaching the hips towards the ceiling, reaching the right arm behind you like it's going to come towards the floor. And spinning around, coming back into a downward dog with the 2 feet touching. Turn to the right side of your right foot, flex the feet, and see if you can make yourself into a nice samastitihi here, picking up the left arm. Step the left foot in front of you, press into the hand, reach a little bit away from the floor with the torso, and step the left foot behind you, and then lift the hips, open the hips, reaching the left arm behind you. And swinging all the way forward, coming into a plank pose. So everybody's in a plank. And then round your plank. So push into the hands and reach the back up towards the ceiling. And then turn so that you're on the tops of the feet. So you're on the tops of the feet into this really rounded plank. Feel the belly try to reach towards the spine. Keep looking at your legs. Slowly, slowly. Lowering the legs, lowering the hips. Keep the knees straight. Coming lower and lower. And then roll open the shoulder blades. Bring the chest forward. Upward facing dog. Turn over the toes. Downward facing dog. And now, you're going to bring your right knee through the arms. Put the toes on the floor. Bring the left knee through the arms. And then see if you can wiggle through those arms. I'm sweating. Okay, so you're going to bend your knees. So even if you're quite flexible, everybody's going to bend their knees, bring their hands behind the thighs, and you use your hands to push kind of the thighs up towards the sitting bones. So you're pulling them up. And with that pulling, with that resistance, you open your chest. And then remember what we did at the beginning with the lower abdominals in? You're going to bring the lower abdominals in and put the ribs on the thighs. Bring your hands behind the Achilles tendons. And pull there, open the chest, thighs and ribs touching. Then, from here, you start to press the centers of the heels away from you. So you feel this nice lengthening through the back body. Don't straighten the legs too fast. So it's slow motion. And then, if you want, you can keep the forearms under the calves, like this, and then pressing the heels away, elongate through the spine. So feel the sternum reaching forward, low back ribs reaching forward, but still pulling the 2 sitting bones towards one another. And then if you want, if that feels okay, you release the hands and take your feet. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release. We're going to do the tabletop. So you're going to bring your feet about hip width apart. Slide the hands behind you, pointing the fingertips towards you. Press into the hands, press into the feet, and then lift the hips up. Keep looking down your body. Pull, so very often the belly is pushing up, something like that. What you want to do is pull the belly in inwards and feel the upper inner thighs dropping towards the floor as you wrap the two hip bones towards one another and reach them up to the ceiling. So keep lifting up until you can no longer see your knees, and then let the head come back. Firm in the buttocks. Now, the next part is going to feel a little unusual if you haven't done this before. You're going to start to swing your hips back and straighten your knees. Whoops, my hands were too close. Okay, straighten the knees. Inhale, come back up into a tabletop. Exhale, swing the hips back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swing the hips back, straightening the knees, pulling in the belly. Inhale, up. Exhale, pulling through. You okay? One more. Inhale. Exhale. And staying here, holding, 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 and lower down. Okay, let's face you. So, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Take the thumbs on the soles of the feet, fingers behind, and then open the feet up like a book. So, here, sometimes we can easily lose mula bandha. So, you're going to feel like the two sitting bones are pulling towards one another. How's everybody doing there? I think what could be useful for some of you, for a lot of you, is to, for everybody actually, slide the fingertips behind you and push into the hands and feel like you're going to tilt the pelvis forward. So the hip bones are coming forward. Push the hands and then lift the chest up high. Okay, so you're using the hands to make your spine be in a neutral curve. Okay, then if you can, so you can either stay like this, or you release the hands and take your hands back on the feet. And then open the feet. And then press the heels together, reaching the thighs away from you. But as the heels push towards each other, open the chest. So, this is optional. Lower belly is pushing in. That's not optional. But the forward bend is optional. So lower belly pulling in as you fold forward. When you're about halfway down, bring your hands forward, push into the hands, and see if you can push the sitting bones towards the floor. So they're not actually grounded to the floor, but you're just not letting them just do whatever they want, right? If I'm like this, it's not really doing anything. Whereas if I can push my hands and feel like I'm grounding my sitting bones towards the floor, then I feel this nice elongation through my back body. And so you're going to see what feels right for you. You walk your hands, push, lift the chest. Maybe you walk the hands, push, lift the chest. And you just keep going until you've found where you're going to stay. And maybe you bring the ears between the upper arms and hold it there. And walking the hands back up towards you. Bring the hands under the knees. Close the knees. Bring your legs up. Bring your hands behind you, and you can shake out the legs. Okay, so next one. You're going to take your, you can see me, you're going to hold behind your thighs like this, and then pull in the belly, and then open the chest, lean back. Okay, so I'm separating my knees, and then I'm going to see if I can work towards maybe straightening one leg up, maybe straightening the other leg up, or maybe straightening both legs up. Okay, so good job. Now, see if you can release the arms. So if your back hurts, you can put your hands behind you. Otherwise, really try to engage the belly. Bring the two legs together. Open the legs. Pull the belly muscles. So if you're not able to access the belly muscles, it's better you have your hands
opening, closing. And then open them and lower down. I saw it, you guys are doing great. So, now, opening the feet, so maybe a little bit wider than we usually do in the Ashtanga system, or Bhavishta Konasana. Okay, so not, we're not trying to do the complete split, but a little bit wider than maybe you're used to doing. Now, put the knees, so the kneecaps are pointing up, and the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Bring your fingertips be in front of you, and then feel the two sitting bones, pubic bone, tailbone, all reaching up, and it's like they're all sucking up to get you longer through the torso. Okay, so we don't want to sink into this pose. Bring your fingertips forward, and walk your fingertips forward. Okay, but reevaluate what's happening with the legs. And then if it's okay, you put your hands into the floor, push into the hands, feel the sitting bones trying to ground as the chest opens. And you're going to experiment. Maybe you go a little bit further. Press into the hands, open the chest, ground the sitting bones. Check your legs. Do they start to swivel in? Or are the legs still straight, pointing up? And then just evaluating what's going on in your body. Maybe you go a little bit further. You're going to decide what feels right for you. But no matter what, don't collapse into the pose. So even if you can go quite far, push the hands and try to get the elongation and feel the knees still pointing up to the ceiling. Then from there, you're going to slide towards your right leg. Bring the elbow on the inside of your right knee. Bring your left arm up and open so that your chest is to the side. If this is feeling okay, maybe you can try a little deeper by sliding those fingers away and bringing the shoulder towards the knee. Try not to let the head drop so the neck still stays in line with the rest of the spine. And then if it's okay, you can bring your left arm over the ear. Feeling a nice long stretch along the left side of the torso. And then if that is all working well for you, slide the right hand and hold the foot. Bring your left arm down. And you're going to slide towards the center and see if you can walk your hands towards your left side. Bring your elbow on the inside of the knee. Reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. So every layer of the pose, you're welcome to stop at. This, you could still work here. You work on anchoring the shoulder blades, lifting the torso away from the floor, elongating through the spine. And then either you stay there or you start to wiggle those fingertips away. Bring the shoulder towards the knee. Maybe that right arm coming over the ear. Maybe that left hand sliding and holding your foot. And check you're not letting the head hang so the neck is in line with the rest of the spine. And then check into Mula Bandha. Are you still bringing the four corners of Mula Bandha towards one another? And letting the right arm come down, coming back towards the center, pressing into the hands, walking your hands back up. Bring the hands behind you, slide the legs together, and do whatever you need to do to shake it out. Then you're going to do a Vinyasa. So you can cross, lift, and jump through, or take your feet, hold your feet close towards the sitting bones, bring your hands forward, and step or hop from there. Lean forward, Chaturanga, upward dog, and down forward, coming slowly to Chaturanga, holding all the way down to the floor. Come up onto the forearms, point the toes, so the 10 toes are pressing into the floor, the legs are engaging, so the kneecaps are off the floor. Press the pubic bone into the floor, use your hands, slide your hands like back, and then reach the chest in the opposite direction. So when you slide the arms back, usually you feel the shoulder blades gluing onto the back body. So you want to feel that. You can maybe feel the lengthening in the belly. Then put the low ribs onto the floor. Bend your knees. Flex the feet. Bring the inner sides of the feet together. Interlace your fingers. And then pull the heels like you're going to come towards the sitting bones and reach your hands away. So pull the feet towards the sitting bones. It engages the hamstrings. And then reach the hands in the opposite direction, opening the chest. Now, you're going to keep the legs exactly as they are, but place the hands beside the waist. So the legs are staying like they are. You're going to push into your hands and come into a puppy pose. So a counter pose. Then you're going to come forward, keeping the knees bent, coming all the way back down, interlacing the fingers, reaching away. And place the hands, keep the legs as they are, push yourself into a puppy pose. And coming back, keep the knees bent, and reaching the hands away. And then notice if your hands and your feet touch naturally, hold your ankles. And then holding your ankles, you're going to resist. So my hands are pulling this way, like that, and then my leg is pulling away. Okay, so push your legs away and pull them towards you with your hands. So you're making space in the back. And then from there, maybe you start to lift the feet up, but keep that counter movement. And keep the legs as they are, hands beside the waist, and puppy pose. Come high onto the fingertips, walking the fingertips forward. Walking as far forward as you can, and then place the palms to the floor, ears between the upper arms, and reach the sitting bones away. And slide forward, coming into a plank pose, lowering down Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming down to the knees, keep the toes tucked under, and you can come and sit back on the heels. Interlace your fingers, bring your forearms into this triangle position. Put the triangle on the floor. Allow the skin to open so your elbows are no wider than the shoulders. Toes are tucked under. Press into the forearms. Reach the belly away from the floor and then pick up your knees. Just a couple of centimeters and hold it here. Press the forearms. Press the wrists. Lower the knees. Just take a couple of breaths here. Then press the forearms, reach the belly away from the floor. Pick up the knees. Check again, you're able to press the
pull sides of the forearms to the floor, and then feel the lower belly reaching up towards the ceiling. So the lower belly is reaching towards the ceiling. Walk your toes forward. Don't let the head touch the floor, but check the back of the neck is long. Keep reaching the lower belly up, checking the weight is even in the forearms. Holding here. And then lower down. Just take a little break in child's pose. And coming back up, making your triangle with your arms, placing your triangle on the floor, allowing the skin to open, pull in the lower belly, tuck the toes, pick up the knees, take 1 or 2 breaths there, and then reach the lower belly up towards the ceiling. Relax the back of the neck, relax the palate, and then start to walk your toes towards you until very naturally the top of the head comes to the floor. But you keep pushing into the forearms, keep putting the shoulder blades onto the back, bringing the tippy toes close to you. Bend one knee, release it, bend the other knee, release it. So you can work there, just changing the feet, or maybe you bend both knees, and you're going to stay in this very low pose. So if you can do the headstand, it's not working talking there. If you can do the headstand, stay there, crunched in, like making yourself into a little ball. And then check the weight of your forearms. Try not to come up. See if you can hold like a little ball. In some ways, it's even harder. And it builds your strength. So if you're not used to doing it, you're going to get the strength. Don't do it next to a window. I see somebody next to a window. Okay, come back down and go into a child's pose. I had a friend that cracked her outdoor window doing that. Even if she was very used to doing, she did it doing handstand. She was very used to doing handstand, could do a beautiful handstand, but once in a while you fall. It just happens. You fall walking down the street, so you can fall when you're upside down. So don't be near a window. Okay, so you're going to come up. We're going to try one more time, but try to go through the steps, because the steps, these are what are going to firm the position for you. Because you can kind of just hope and fling yourself up, and sometimes you stay, sometimes you don't. But if you build the steps, then you build from foundation. Foundation layer 1, foundation layer 2. You build your strength. Interlace the fingers, bring the forearms onto the floor, let the skin open, press your forearms into the floor, and even if you're strong, I don't know, I find this really challenging just to press the forearms and reach my belly away from the floor, right? I have to use my belly muscles. Pick up my knees, that makes me work a little more, and then pull my lower belly all the way up to the ceiling. Double check I have the forearm weight equal. And then relax my neck, relax the palate, wiggle the toes towards me until the head just comes naturally down. And then, if you want, you can pick up with 2 legs together, okay? And then start to raise the legs up towards the ceiling. Press your forearms. That's amazing, you guys are great. And then slowly, see if you can come down. Even if you didn't come down to go up with 2 legs, see if you can go slower and slower as you come down. so that your toes are just hovering from the floor. And once you're down, coming into a child's pose. Amazing. Okay, relaxing here. Just allow the muscles of the upper back, the arms, the lower back to melt towards the sides and fall down towards the floor. Check you're still doing ujjayi breathing. Feels very nice to do ujjayi breathing in this pose because as you're closed up, it makes the sound more comforting for the nervous system. So allowing your body to cool down, to relax, let go. Then slide the hands out in front of you. Lift the buttocks, sliding forward, tuck the toes, and come into Chaturanga. Upward facing, and downward facing. Bringing your weight forward, bring one knee through the arms, other knee through the arms, and see if you can bring both legs through. And coming into a cross-legged position, any position that feels comfortable for you. So if you really are comfortable in lotus pose, you can do it, but don't hesitate if you start in lotus to release it. Don't hurt your knees. It's not worth it, right? And if you do lotus, I would suggest that once in a while you switch the crossings too. Okay. Open the arms to the sides. Lift them up towards the ceiling. Reach your baby finger sides of the hands all the way up. Feel like you're getting longer through the waist. Hook your thumbs, reaching again, and start to turn towards your right knee. You can close the eyes. Come back to center, turn towards the left knee. It's just little movements, not big movements. Come back to the center, open the arms. Bend at the elbows and see if you can hold your elbows or the wrists, or maybe you get your toes if you're in the lotus. Open through the chest, no matter which version you're doing. Okay, so if you're in the lotus, that's nice. If not, you can hold your elbows. And whichever version you're doing, you're going to try to pull the lower abdominals back and up, like the skin is really lifting away from the floor. And so we're going to end the way we started. See if you can feel the two sitting bones on the floor, and notice if they're level one to the other. So try to have the weight even between the two sitting bones. And then also forward and back. So if you're a little bit too forward, slide a little back. If you're a little bit too back, slide a little forward. And then allow the sitting bones to feel really heavy into the floor. And then the flesh between the two sitting bones, between the pubic bones and the tailbones, these you want to see if you can reach all the way up. So you're engaging the pelvic floor, engaging the lower abdominals.
can apply ujjayi breathing while maintaining mula bandha and uddiyana bandha. And also notice if maybe you're overdoing bandhas, like maybe the thighs are engaging, the buttocks are engaging, maybe everything is engaging. See how much you can isolate it so that you're able to feel the relaxation and the heaviness in lower belly, lower body, as you feel the upward movement of the upper body, so that the energy is rising up while staying grounded. So the mind feels attentive as well as relaxed. And then you can reach your arms in the front. And still doing the same actions with Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Seeing how much you need to engage to stay sitting steady and strong with a certain amount of effortlessness. So as little effort as possible. You can even soften the elbows, let the arms release so the legs take the weight of the arms. Tuning in to your inner self. Feeling yourself from the inside. Noticing your breathing. Noticing how the body moves with the breath. Noticing how it feels to feel stable, as well as awake and attentive, and relaxed, calm, peaceful. Reminding ourselves that this is why we're doing our yoga practices. So we have this ability to move through this world from a place of stability, as well as from a place of openness, freedom, peace. Compassion, love, caring for ourselves, but also recognizing ourselves in all beings. When we can recognize that we are the exact same as every other being, and we can respect ourselves, care about ourselves, then we can respect and care about all other beings. But it's essential that you offer that to yourself. Moving as slow as possible, eventually finding your way into a shavasana position, or if you prefer to sit in a meditative state, you can also stay here. Whichever position you're deciding to hold, Bring your mind there. Bring your breath to that area. Imagine yourself breathing into it, embracing it. Giving it comfort, so that it can feel safe, and that area can release and let go. share the benefits of our practice. We wish that all beings everywhere can feel any of the good feelings that we're feeling. And we'll chant Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for practicing, because I know that when we practice yoga, that it makes us feel better in ourselves, and if we feel better in ourselves, we're more likely to treat others better, treat ourselves better, and feel more comfortable in this world. So thank you.